Hello, everyone, and welcome to LeeLa. I'm Lee Philbrook. The intention of the LeeLa community is really to transform conversations and practices into actions that make a difference. And LeeLa comes from Sanskrit, and it means divine or creative play. It literally translates to your story, and we love to explore others' stories. I'm super excited for our show this evening. We'll kick it off with a short background on us, your hosts, followed by an opening intention. And I'm thrilled to have our special guest this evening, Jenna. We'll then do our closing intention and final announcements. So we do encourage cameras on to really create a sense of community and connection. And please feel free to ask questions along the way. So here we go, over to my co-host, Lisa English.
Welcome to LeeLa, everyone. This is a space where you can learn, explore, and have fun. Through our storytelling, we hope to inspire you all to live a more intentional life. I'm a high school teacher and a youth mentor. Last summer, I studied hypnosis at an NLP training center called Inspired Outcomes in Guelph. And I love the simplicity of it and the major changes you can experience as a result of it. And I'm looking forward to learning more from Jenna with you all tonight. And with that being said, I'm going to pass it back over to my co-host, Lee Philbrook.
As a transformation coach, I'm passionate about supporting women who are overthinkers. I use my skills as a Reiki master, a master practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming and hypnotherapy to transform, evolve, and empower them to live their best lives. I assist them to release their self-criticism, frustration, and struggle to move into ease, flow, and a sense of inner calm. I'd now like to do our opening intention that really connects us and holds the space for this evening. So I invite you to close your eyes. May divine grace surround us, uphold us, and cherish us all. May it support us and our sacred trust and community. May we be strong together and our journeys be brighter and higher for having walked side by side. May we be guides for others and ourselves with clarity, tenderness, and light, feeling gentle in our minds and clear with our words, sending peace in all directions of time. With gratefulness, we take this moment to arrive and join together. Welcome to the room, and you can open your eyes. And now over to Lisa to introduce our special guest.
Jenna Leila has been on a healing journey for over 3 decades, rising above deep childhood trauma. Through her own alchemical journey, and thanks to traditional Ho'oponopono, she received a deep activation of unconditional love in her heart chakra after forgiving the person who hurt her the most, both physically and emotionally. Since that day of 2016, she is continuously radiating the energy of aloha everywhere she goes and in everything that she does. She decided to be of service to others and to help them on their healing journey only once she herself started feeling this boundless bliss and joy daily. It is now my pleasure to welcome our special guest of the evening, Jenna Leila.
Hi, so happy to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. We're so excited to have you. So let's kick it off right away. What the evening's about, quantum hypnosis. Jenna, what is quantum hypnosis?
Okay, so quantum hypnosis is a method that allows you to go into an inner journey through space and time. And so you may see other lives, which could be in the past, or you could see the future. You could see parallel lives. You could go back to a memory in this lifetime and see it from a different perspective, or see it from the eyes of somebody else in the family to give you insight and more information as to what actually happened, to give you keys to understand what was going on. You could see yourself incarnated in many different beings or animals or plants. There's really no limit, because consciousness is in everything that exists and has existed and will exist. Therefore, you just have access to that. You sometimes can get spontaneous healing, like many different things can happen during a session. Not one session is the same as another. It's pretty magical. I feel very blessed and grateful to be of service and to guide, because I also get to travel with these people. It's like, you know, during the lockdown, I was always traveling. I was not stuck anywhere, because I could go through space and time with my clients. And sometimes some of those journeys were pretty amazing and pretty unexpected. It's, you know, every session is just magical and full of surprises. So what else can I tell you? You want me to tell you more about the origins, perhaps?
Yes, tell us about the history, where it all started, how it started, anything you can share about that.
Yes, so quantum hypnosis was created by a wonderful lady called Dolores Cannon. She started doing hypnosis with her husband. He was the one who was doing hypnosis first, and it was just, I believe, Ericksonian hypnosis, the kind of hypnosis that is more traditional, that you would go to stop smoking or try to lose some weight, for instance. And it's a type of hypnosis where you make suggestions to the subconscious 30 to 40 times during a session to try to influence it, with the client's permission, of course. And you may say, if you want to stop smoking, things like, ooh, the smell of cigarettes really bothers you, you know, things like that. And over time, it may help you. And so she was doing this with her husband, and they lived on a military basis because he was in the force. And there was a doctor on the army base who was really struggling with one of his patients, who was a very obese lady who had diabetes and hypertension and all kinds of problems, and he didn't seem to find any solutions to help her. So eventually he suggested that she goes and try to do a hypnosis session with Dolores and her husband. And so she did. And during the session, she spontaneously saw a past life. And they had never seen this before. It was a big surprise to them, but being open and curious, they kind of followed through and started asking her questions to try to understand what was going on. And at the end of the session, they realized that she was feeling much better, because she did get some insight as to, you know, why certain things were happening in her life and why she had some problems. So she kept coming back, and they worked with her for a while. And that's how it started. And I believe they did that for a number of years. And then her husband had, Dora's husband had a very bad car accident. And I think he had to stop working. She had to care for him and their 4 children. So for many, many years, she completely stopped doing hypnosis. I believe at least maybe 15 years, perhaps more. And then eventually, when the children were raised and she had more time, she went back to it. And she went fully headfirst into the past life regressions. And she did that for many, many decades, refining, fine-tuning the methods, gathering lots of information. If you look up her name, you will see that she has published many, many books of channeling and convoluted universe and channeling about different eras on Earth. Very interesting. And after so many years of working with thousands of clients, she decided to create her own method, which is called QHHT, Quantum Healing Hypnosis Therapy. And she started teaching it in the early 2000s. And so since then, QHHT has been shared and is a method that you can experience, you can learn, or you can experience as a client. And eventually, what happened was, before Dolores passed, I believe in early 2010, like maybe 2013, 2014. I'm not sure exactly. Don't quote me on it. She had an assistant called Candace Goldman Craw, who worked with her for many years, maybe 9 years. And this lady felt like the QHHT was limited in some ways because it wouldn't allow to do sessions online, for instance, and it wouldn't allow for other methods, other healing methods to be complementing. So for instance, if you do Reiki, or if you have intuitive insights, or any other method, you could not combine it. It was very strict. It is still to this day in some way very strict, and it's not open to, to have more flexibility. So Candace decided to create her own method, which is an extension of QHHT, and it's called BQH, Beyond Quantum Healing, which is the method that I use. And this method is exactly the same. It follows the same process. However, it has this flexibility, and it allows and was created specifically to be also able to be done online with Zoom, for instance, and it works just as well. You may do sessions slightly shorter if you want, because it takes more energy to do it when you're doing online, but it works just as well. And you can combine other methods. So for instance, for me, I do energy healing, which is similar to Reiki. It's just a method that I received from my maternal lineage. So it's just the direct connection to source. And both me and my mom and my grandma in her way would use that as well, to use hands for healing or distance healing. And I'm highly intuitive, so I also combine that. And whenever I'm doing a session, whatever intuition I receive to know what's best for my client, I will do it. So for instance, in QHHT, you're not supposed to touch the person, but I'm also a massage therapist. And I've had people who, for instance, somehow had a sensation in their arm or something that didn't feel right. And it was, of course, very practical to be able to massage their arm, for instance, and it did make them feel better. So I'm really grateful to be able to use this method without any limit, and to be able to combine all of my gifts and all my intuition within one method, which feels more right,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And so like, this is going into our next question perfectly. What does a session look like, sound like, feel like?
Yes. So first of all, many people are surprised when they're told that a session is about 4 hours. It could be longer. When I started, I actually had sessions last for 7 or 8 hours, which I know sounds crazy.
Yeah.
But when you're in quantum time, which is non-linear time, you don't see it happening. It's like that. It's very, I don't know how to describe it until you experience it. It's very different than linear time. Now, over the years, of course, I've managed to do my sessions for no more than 4 hours usually. And what happens is it has two very different times. The first part, the person will come to me and tell me why they're there. Like, what is bringing them there? Is this just curiosity, or is there any specific areas of their lives that they feel like they need clarity on, or they're having issues or problem? It could be health, it could be relationship, it could be your love life, could be with your children, could be with work, or maybe you're a bit lost, you're not sure if you should be where you are, you should be moving, all kinds of questions. So people come to me and tell me about what's going on in their lives, and I start taking notes and I start doing my detective work. And that's the moment where I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. And so we'll usually start from the present time, what's going on right now, and what are the issues or what are the dilemmas that people are going through. And then I will start digging and asking questions more about past events and things like trauma or specific things that may have a significance in this person's life. And then slowly, we'll keep digging, and often we'll go back to childhood and connection with parents and siblings and, you know, different things that may have happened during your childhood. And usually that's where a lot of key elements will come up. And through all of these questions, usually things will start to emerge, you know, patterns will emerge, insights, people will start remembering things that they didn't think about for decades, and like, oh, right, I completely forgot about this event. And so already this is like starting to stir some of your subconscious. A lot of things will come up. It can be like intense and already very how to describe this. It can already be life-changing, that moment. Even before we do the hypnosis, you can already receive a lot of information, a lot of insights, and some activations also. Through my own self-work and constant journey to realign on a daily basis, which I've been doing for so many years. People have been telling me, which at first I didn't realize, that I carry a certain energy which will somehow push people towards more alignment. So it's also kind of like an energetic activation in some ways. And I do it lovingly, but also with like a little push, to encourage people to like move forward, and give them clarity on what's going on in their lives. And sometimes we record that portion of the session as well, because some people want to have want to be able to listen to it again to remember those insights, and to encourage them to make those changes in their lives, because sometimes it's not so easy, when you receive so much information. It really depends on where you are and how far away you are from alignment. So for some people, if they're really, really far, there's many steps to take to get back to your true soul's alignment and your true desires. It might be uncomfortable because it's not so easy. But I always tell people, if you're here and somehow you chose to do this work, it's because you're ready. Otherwise, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be here to receive all these informations and all these activations to move forward in your life. So that's the first part. And then usually we'll take a quick break, bathroom break. And depending on the person, I may use different techniques to get them into this deep state of relaxation. Some people go very easily into a theta wave brain, and it's going to be very easy for them to start relaxing and get into this state of receiving images and sensations and start seeing things. For some people, it's much harder because they're too much in their head. So I will probably ask questions like, do you meditate? Do you remember your dreams? Have you had any kind of paranormal experiences? Are you intuitive? Like, give me an idea whether this person is going to go into the state easily or not. And sometimes I will, before the hypnosis, do a little bit of access bars or energy healing to get the person into a much more relaxed state of surrender and letting go, to give them the best chances to succeed in going to that state. Because, of course, I cannot guarantee, no one can guarantee that you are going to go into that state where you can see things. Most people do. I've so far, I've never had one person not seeing anything. I did have one client who would receive her messages through sensations. So it took me a little while maybe like 45 minutes to try to get her to see things. And I kept moving her forward in time or backwards in time. And she kept seeing lights. I see a blue light. I see a blue light. And so because I never had that experience before, so I was really struggling until I realized that I could ask her the questions and she would receive messages through sensations. So it would be, ooh, it's very cold and unpleasant. And that's how she would know that this is a no, or this is not something she should be doing. Or she would be like, oh, it's really warm and comfy and I feel loved. And then she would know, okay, this feels right. This is something I should be doing. Another important part that I forgot to mention, during that time, that first part where I'm going to ask you questions, we will together, and this is my way of doing it, the original methods asked the client to beforehand, before the session, to come with a list of questions. And some people would come with like a list of 50 questions, which is a lot. And what happened through my journey as a practitioner, within 1 week, a couple of years ago, I had 2 clients who were complete polar opposites. The first one was a lady who was very, very, very much in her mental state. She came with a list of 50 questions, literally. And within each questions, there was like a paragraph explaining things, you know, like the symbolism of like the, I don't know, the liver means it's anger. And it was like deep, like it was like trying to get her focused was very, very challenging. And a lot of the questions were pertaining to the same themes. So it was very repetitive. So we lost a lot of time during that part. And then during the hypnosis, she was too much in her head. So it was very hard for her to actually surrender and welcome the journey and get answers. And it was probably like the most difficult session I felt like I went through. But of course, you learn from these experiences. And then 2 days later, I had the complete opposite. I had this guy who was like very cheerful. And as soon as he arrived, he was like, oh, I forgot my list of questions. And I said, it's okay. We'll just do it together. Don't worry. And this is what happened. As we were going through the first part where, you know, I do my detective work and the person shares why they're here, I started doing questions with him. So he didn't come in a state of overthinking and having his list and like already like having the brain, you know, overworking. He came more in a state of being in the present. And doing this session was incredible. It was like one of the best sessions. And from that day forward, I realized that for me specifically, this is the way I was going to proceed. So just so you know, the regular way to do it is having the client coming with a list of questions, which they can still do if they want to, of course. I'm not going to tell them that they can't do that. But I usually prefer for the person to come in a state of present moment, focused on the present, and then together we do the questions. And because we do it together, it's easier to not have like 5 questions, which are really the same question, if that makes any sense. They're coming back to the same theme, you know? And because we do that, it's more efficient. People are more in their heart. And then when we do the session, we can go straight to, you know, directly to the point. So this is the way I like to do it. Awesome. And then we go into the state of relaxation. And it's called hypnosis, but just to clarify, because a lot of people have a vision of hypnosis that maybe, you know, like theatrical things that they've seen on TV where people are made to do things that they don't want to do and they don't remember anything. Just to clarify, the hypnosis that I practice is really just a state of deep relaxation. It's the same state that you're in when you're just about to fall asleep or just about to wake up. And like 99% of people remember everything. And we will record the session. So no matter what, you can listen to it. So you're aware of what's going on. You are still in control at all times. You can choose to end the session whenever you want. I won't make you do anything at all. And also a big distinction with quantum hypnosis and the more traditional Ericksonian hypnosis. In quantum hypnosis, we do not ever make suggestions to the subconscious. We're only here to guide you. So to give you an idea, once the person is in that state of deep relaxation and starts seeing things, I'm gonna ask them, okay, just tell me what you see. So if they tell me, oh, I see a beach and there's a house, I'm not gonna tell them, oh, okay, walk towards the house. I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna ask them, okay, so where do you wanna go? Just tell me. And if they're not sure, I'll say, what does it feel like? Do you feel attracted to maybe going into the water, or is that house attracting your attention? Is that where you feel like you should be going? And all along the way, they're going to be the ones deciding of their journey. And at any given moment, if there's anything uncomfortable or scary, they know that they're safe and that they don't have to do anything or go anywhere that doesn't feel right. They can just backtrack or end it or go to a place that feels right and feels happy and safe. So there's no way that the experience could have a negative impact. And the subconscious has like a fail-safe, so it will never put you in a place or in a position or give you information or an experience more than you can handle. So usually, and we set that intention at the beginning because we do have like a whole process for like protection and creating that safe environment at the very beginning. So there's no potential danger. The only thing that this method is not recommended for people who have mental health problems or, for instance, paranoia or schizophrenia or perhaps epilepsy. It's not advised to do this. And usually it's not a method that we use on children. So I would say you'd have to be at least 15 or 16 years old. And ideally with your parents' consent, I would usually do that. I've never had any teenagers personally, but it's definitely not something we do with children. Unlike other types of hypnosis that you can use with children. But other than that, there's no reason why you couldn't do it. And so, so at any given moment during the session, during the hypnosis, the person is in control, they know what's going on, and they go through this journey. And after that, they nicely come back and make sure that they're very anchored and feel like they're fully back in their body. And then we'll have a short exchange to see how they're feeling, how they're doing. And if they need to, we can have like a follow-up coaching session to have like, you know, because it's gonna take, because it's very, very deep work. It's not something you're going to do every week. Unlike Ericksonian hypnosis, for instance, that you could potentially go once a week or once every 2 weeks. Quantum hypnosis is going to take a lot of time to integrate. So you probably would wait at least a couple weeks, maybe even a couple months before choosing to do another session if you wanted to. And so, you know, we'll have that time to come back and have a little chat. And if the person feels the need to talk more or have more insights, they may come back for like more like a coaching session, maybe a couple weeks later. And if they really want to, they might want to come back later on. But it's definitely going to take a while because you want to make sure you integrate all of the messages. And often the work is so deep that it will, a lot of people will make big life changes. I've had people who, for instance, women who wanted to try to get pregnant, and after the session, a couple months later, even though they've been trying for years, somehow it worked. Or people who wanted to, you know, have major life changes like quit their jobs or move to a different continent, but weren't sure or didn't find the courage to do it. And with the session, because they receive direct insights, because when you're going to be doing the session, you will be able to talk to your higher self. And so instead of asking somebody else for answers, such as a medium or a psychic, who is connected and will receive messages, but in a limited way, because there's an infinity of timelines and they only see a few timelines, and it could be very helpful also. But what I like about quantum hypnosis is that instead of going through the filter of somebody else, you have direct access to your own higher self. So you receive direct answers which are best for you. And usually those are the strongest. And a lot of people tell me that because it's not going through somebody else's filter, it feels much more powerful to have the answer directly, if that makes any sense. Mm-hmm. Now, during the session, you may also be able to connect with the higher self of other people, the non-physical part, you know, when you have like telepathy, we all have telepathy in some ways. You think about your husband and he calls you right there, you know, this type of thing. We all have that with people who we're close to. So this is your non-physical part and his non-physical part connecting on a different plane. And this is what we're going to be doing, but to a higher level during the session. So while we do that, your higher self might be able to connect to the higher self of somebody who's alive or somebody who's passed. So this might translate into needing to say something to someone, but not having had the courage to do it yet. So you will do it during the session and face that fear. And it's going to feel like a huge relief. And if the person's still alive, you might be so inclined to actually do it in real life and talk face to face with this person to really release those, whatever is between you and that person. But you may also be able to connect with people who have passed. So it could be a grandmother, it could be anyone, usually in the family, but it could be a friend, of course. It doesn't have to be a family member. But often it will be family members because we all are recipients of family trauma. And this will give major insights as to what happens to our ancestors. And sometimes we get to ask them questions directly. We get to, of course, hug them and say, I love you, or I forgive you, or I'm so sorry for certain things. And these things might seem, you know, like nothing, but they really are huge. And they're like, when the people go through that during the session, it's very powerful. And a lot of people tell me it's amazing. I really felt like I was hugging my grandma. I felt her, I smelled her, I felt her heart. It was like people are crying and it's like deep. And what's beautiful about this is that it opens a door that, and I always encourage people to be autonomous, because once you've opened that door, I always tell them, you know, you have access to this on your own. You don't have to come to me. And now that you've experienced it, just know that whenever you want, you are able to do that. You can connect with your grandma. I'm just using this as an example. You can call her and ask her to be with you and have, you know, a conversation or talk to her. Even if you don't feel her presence, it's okay. This is a very empowering tool as well, that not everybody will feel comfortable or will be at ease doing it, but it's definitely something that once you've opened the door, you can have an easier access to it. You may also see yourself as your ancestor. This has happened in a couple sessions. And as you see yourself going through the motions of what happened to that ancestor, you're able to understand what they went through and perhaps some of the trauma and why you're having those repetitive patterns or blockages. So this is also very helpful. And depending on your beliefs, you might go to other planets, you might connect with archangels, you might connect with guides, you might see yourself incarnated as a plant or a rabbit. There's no limit. There's no limit. And you know, so I think I gave you a pretty deep description of what could happen during a session.
Yes, thank you so much. It sounds like it's very rewarding by the end of it all, and you see a lot of major changes. And again, this leads into my next question, which is, what are the benefits one receives from having a hypnosis session? I know you've already spoken to a few of them already. Can you just quickly go through some of the benefits, please?
So the major thing that I hear almost every time at the end of the session, people tell me I feel free. I feel relieved, like a ton was lifted off my shoulders. That's the main thing that keeps coming back almost at the end of every session, which is already huge. Sometimes people will have spontaneous healing. I cannot guarantee any of the benefits, of course, but this happened to me. I had a chronic pain on my knee for about 1.5 years. And during my second session as a client, I did ask for that pain to go away. And 2 weeks later, I had a dream where I was massaging my knee, doing Lumi Lumi massage, which is another thing that I practice, Hawaiian massage. And in my dream, I had my guides tell me, okay, your knee is healed. That's it. And I tried to massage my other knee. I was like, no, you don't need to massage your other knee. That one doesn't hurt. And I was like, yeah, you're right. And then I woke up from that dream. And ever since that day, the pain never came back. So that's to give you one example. It will give you clarity. A lot of people will get some of their questions answered, maybe not all of them. And often they will have a much better idea of where they're supposed to be heading into their lives. Like, you know, are they supposed to move? Are they supposed to change jobs? Are they supposed to make changes in that relationship? Usually they will get a lot of clarity, and they might, how do you say this? Like uncover some family information, which will be helpful not only for them, but for the whole family, you know? And overall, they're just gonna usually feel more at peace. And my goal is always, like I said, to try to give them as many tools as possible so they feel this autonomy, so they can go back to receiving those benefits on their own. And also by listening to the recording, they can benefit on a deeper level to the messages, because when you're in that state of hypnosis, you may not remember everything, because it's kind of like having like 10 dreams, one after another and another. You know? So, you know, when you have one dream after another dream, you don't really remember the first dream, right? So it's kind of like that. So having the recording will allow you to go back and get the benefits. Some of the greatest shifts I've seen are, for instance, I had this lady who was really struggling with self-love and self-respect, and she was very unhappy in her marriage for at least 15 years, but she couldn't find the strength to talk to her husband and divorce from him. And so during the session, it took at least 3 trials, because it was very, very difficult for her. And eventually she was able to connect with the higher self of her husband, who's still alive, and tell him everything that she needed to tell him, that she had not been able to tell him for the past 15 years. But during the session, finally, she was able to communicate, to really voice all of her fears, all of her needs, all of her wants. And after that, she did contact me to tell me that she was finally able to move on and start a new life after, you know, so many years not having the courage and the strength to leave this unhealthy relationship. That's one example among many. I've had people who started their own business. Same thing, like a lot of it has to do with empowerment and self-love and self-respect, that you somehow feel connected in a way that you never felt before. And you found the strength to put into action what you couldn't do before. So those are some of the benefits that you may receive.
Awesome. And do you think that's because you removed some limiting beliefs, some trauma, that they're able to open these possibilities up and lead a different life?
Yeah, and I think and sometimes you get insight from past lives, of course, because you see yourself. The basic example is somebody who's scared of swimming, and they see themselves, or scared of water in general, and they see themselves drowning in another life, and that they understand why just the sight of water is like making them feel like, you know, all shut down and freezing, you know, frozen, sorry. So yeah, for sure.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you, Jenna. I'm going to pass it over to Lee now. She has a couple more questions for you.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I did talk a lot explaining the session.
All good.
Well, I'd like to jump into, Jenna, how did you discover traditional Hawaiian healing? As it's, you know, very dear to my heart as well.
I know. I was living in California and I was very lucky to be invited to Maui. I won't go into the details of this crazy story, which is very unexpected. But I was given this Lomi Lomi massage, and as soon as I received it, I was like, oh, wow, I need to learn this. It was like something I always knew and I needed to relearn. I do think I may have had some lives in Hawaii. I can't tell for sure, but it is what I feel in my heart. And so then I went back. I was doing film production at the time. I was not in any way involved in massage. I always liked it since I was little, but it wasn't something that I ever thought I would do. And then I went back to Maui and I trained at Ho'omana Spa. I'm doing a little shout out to this beautiful place, and my kumu means teacher in Hawaiian, Kumu Gina Naluai, who I highly recommend. She's a wonderful, wonderful person. And if you ever want to learn Lomi Lomi, this is a beautiful place to learn it. She's a really amazing teacher. And so that's how I started my journey. And soon after, I decided to make my life pono. Pono means alignment, means righteousness in Hawaiian, and ho'o means to put in action. It's like making it into a verb and an action, and pono means alignment. And when you repeat a word twice, it gives it more mana, which means power in Hawaiian. And so I decided to be on this journey of alignment. And one of the key elements of Hawaiian Ho'oponopono is to have this, they used to do it every day, to apologize and forgive. And so I decided on my journey of alignment to make a list of every single person that I felt I needed to apologize to since I was born, and every single person I felt like I needed to forgive. And of course, the list, you know, over time, over weeks and months, I remembered events and I would add things. And I really did it diligently for many, many months, as much as possible face-to-face or calling. And then if not, I would do an email. And if the person's passed, you know, I would write a letter or do a little ritual talking to the person who's passed. And this radically changed my life forever. And I started feeling better and better and better. I mean, I was already feeling pretty good. I've always had that foundation of being a happy, positive, optimistic person. But then that was like, it shifted me into this magical place until the day it culminated to forgiving my father, who was the person who hurt me the most in 2016. And that was that life-changing event, which I didn't expect. I had no clue what was going to happen. And that's when I received this energy of unconditional love. So that's my journey of Hawaiian healing, which now I share by doing massage and Ho'oponopono and workshops. And I try to embody every day. I'm always constantly realigning whatever I feel is not for my well-being. And because I do that, I feel amazing.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that with us. Yeah, it's definitely, Ho'oponopono is such a powerful tool. We hold on to things, situations that have happened with people, and letting that go is often so freeing. We think it's about making whatever happened okay, and it has nothing to do with that. It's about freedom for us. So that's beautiful. And I'd like you to share with us a little bit of information about your upcoming retreat. You've got
yes.
Yeah.
So
in Mexico.
Yeah. So right now I live in Playa del Carmen in Mexico. Feeling very grateful to be here and to have met you, Lee. And so I've with a friend, my friend Alina, we have decided to create this beautiful retreat for women, which will take place on May 7th and 8th, 2022 in Tulum, so not too far from Playa. And it's going to be in this beautiful hotel right on the beach called Diamond Cay. And it will be a retreat which is all about abundance through self-love. And it will be 2 days. The first day will be all about deconstruction, so removing all the past negative beliefs, doing role playing and all kinds of things to remove the the old energies and activations, womb activations and such things. And on the second day, and on the first day, we'll also do a ritual, a Hawaiian ritual, which is very, very dear to me because it changed my life, specifically in this area. And I will share my story during the retreat because it really transformed my life 4 years ago completely in terms of abundance and finances. And that's a Hawaiian ritual that we do in the ocean. And then the next day, it's all about construction, all about recreating with healthy foundations. And we'll also do a Lumi Lumi circle to really feel in your body, in your cells, what it's like to both receive and give simultaneously, because a lot of people have troubles either receiving or giving, and it often has creates troubles in terms of abundance, whether it's money or other types of abundance. So all kinds of body movements, meditations, and a lot of surprises. I'm very, very excited about it. And after that, for people who wish to continue, and they don't have to do the retreats to be part of that, we will do an 8-week program, and every week we'll have a different theme to really anchor that abundance and go dig deeper and have like exercises and suggestions on financial autonomy and looking at self-love and relations, family patterns and all of that on a deeper level. So we're very excited, both Alina and I, to be offering this retreat very soon.
Oh, that sounds beautiful. And I was going to ask, no, we don't have a lot of time. I was going to ask what abundance means to you. I don't know if you can quickly touch on that or whether we jump into.
I didn't hear what you just said.
What abundance means to you?
Oh, for me, abundance, it's not just money. It's being in this pure state of alignment and well-being and surrender, which allows you to attract all of the best opportunities and gifts on a daily basis. And this is what I feel I experience here every day, and even more so since I came to Playa. But before, I was already getting those gifts. Like you think of something and then suddenly it appears, manifesting it immediately, because you're in that state of flow of, I call it surfing the wave of the universe. Everything that you need just comes your way easily and effortlessly. That's for me is abundance.
Thank you for sharing that. That's wonderful. Let's jump into actually doing a group quantum hypnosis session. So I'll turn that over to you to lead us through a short session over the last.
Yes. So before we start, I'm going to ask everyone to get into a place that's comfortable, ideally a sofa or a bed if you can lie down and get comfy. Remove your shoes if you can, perhaps dim the lights or have like a softer light, or you could also put like a little something over you, like a t-shirt or a blind or something over your eyes. And once you find that space, you're going to take a deep, deep breath. Close your eyes. Take another deep breath. And release all the stress as you exhale, feeling more and more relaxed and surrendering completely with each exhale. Continue breathing in and breathing out and surrendering deeper and deeper with each exhale. And now I'm going to ask you to visualize a pyramid of lights that's big enough to be all around your body. It's going to be a protection, and it's going to be there throughout this short session to allow you to feel safe and protected. And now you're going to go into a deeper and deeper relaxation all the way from the bottom of your feet, going up your legs. Feel this deep, deep, deep relaxation in your knees, your thighs, your hips, your stomach, your heart, your lungs, your shoulders. Really feel with each inhale and each exhale this deep, complete surrender entering your body. Now into your arms, all the way to the hands, your neck, your head, all the way to the top of your head. Now you're going to feel this light entering your body and radiating from your heart. And it's radiating now into your whole body until your body is glowing. And now being in that state of really, really deep, deep surrender, nothing can distract you. The only thing you can hear is my voice gently guiding you. And you know that you're safe and protected and that this experience will only attract a good feeling. We're only going to go into places that make you feel good today. That's very important and you know it. So you feel completely safe. And now I'm going to ask you to visualize a small spiral staircase with 10 steps. And you're going to go down each step very slowly. And with every step, you're going to feel even more relaxed and even more surrendered. You're going to start putting your foot on the first step, the second step, and the third step, and feel more and more relaxed. And you keep going on the 4, 5, and 6 steps, and you feel even more relaxed and more at ease in your body. 7, 8, 9. You're now preparing yourself to enjoy this very, very pleasant experience. 10. Now you have arrived and you're facing a door. This is the door to your subconscious or your higher self. Take a moment to observe this door, its color, its shape, its texture. Does it have a handle, a frame? Really take a moment to observe all the details of this door. Now I'm going to give you a key to open the door. But if for some reason the door doesn't open today, it's okay. Perhaps it was not the time for you to explore your subconscious. That's completely okay. Then you can just go back up the stairs and keep enjoying this experience regardless. Now, you're going to take the key and slowly open the door. As you open the door, you're going to see a very long corridor with an infinity of doors. And each door has a number on it. Behind one of these doors is another life, perhaps in the past, perhaps in the future, maybe a parallel life. There are no limits to what you can find. All you know is that it's going to be a very, very pleasant experience. And the door that you will open will show you that. A very, very pleasant experience. It might bring you some insight or some answers. Perhaps it will remind you how to connect to your natural essence of pure joy and pure bliss. Now you're going to take your time, start walking down that corridor. And when it feels right, you will know and you will stop in front of the door that you're supposed to explore today. So take your time walking down that corridor until you find the door that is your door. You know it's the one that you're meant to open today. And now you're going to stop. Stay in front of that door. And again, take your time, take a moment to take a really good look at this door. What is its color? What is its shape? Look at the number carefully. Remember this number. Does it have a frame? What does the handle look like? Look at it really, really in details, from the bottom to the sides to the top. And now you start feeling excited because you know you're about to explore this other life. You find the key in your hands and you gently start to open the door. As you open the door, you can only see a mist, a fog. And you start looking down on your hands. And you're going to look at it very carefully and pay attention to how old this hand looks like. Is it the hand of a child? Is it the hand of an elderly person? What is the color of your skin? What is your gender? Do you wear any jewelry? What do your nails look like? Are they short? Are they long? And now you're going to go into even more details to find out more information about yourself. You're going to start looking at your feet. What do they look like? Do you have shoes on or are you barefoot? What is the color of the shoes you're wearing if you're wearing shoes? What do they look like? Now you're going to go up, looking at your calves and your knees. See if you're wearing any clothes, any specific clothes, and pay really, really good attention to details of what you are wearing. Really look into details, all the details, the colors, the textures. Take your time to feel with your hands. Is it soft? Is it rough? Is it new? Is it old? Really look carefully at what you're wearing. And keep going up. Look at your belly, look at your arms. You can maybe touch your head, see if you're wearing any jewelry, any accessories like a hat or a scarf. And now perhaps you may be able to hear your name. Perhaps even your full name. Just let it come to you. Just let it come to you. And now maybe you're going to get an indication of where you are in the era where you are. And the mist is going to start dissipating very, very slowly. And you're going to be able to start seeing more and more around you. Look at the ground. What does it look like? Is it firm? Is it soft? Is it wet? Is it dry? What is the temperature? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it humid? Is it daytime or maybe nighttime? What does it feel like? Are there any sounds around you or any other people that you can hear or communicate with? I'll let you explore for a few more minutes. so that you can gather as much information as you can. Look carefully all around you. If there's any people that feel familiar, perhaps you might want to go and talk to them, have a conversation. Perhaps you have burning questions to ask them. So take that moment to really explore, look around you, see what's going on, interact with the people that you see, if you want to. If there's any places that you feel attracted to, it's the moment to maybe start going in the direction of those places and explore the lands, the landscape. Maybe the houses, the streets, wherever you are, really take that moment to explore, to be the adventurer, and gather as many informations about yourself, your environment, and the people that are around you. Take your time. Continue to breathe in slowly and deeply. And to really feel this deep, deep state of surrender, to welcome as many information as possible. Information that might give you insights and answers for this lifetime. Really take your time exploring, interacting, and gather information. I'm going to let you explore just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. So really take it in. And now I'm going to ask you to find an object. Look around you. This object is going to be a gift to remind you that you can come back here anytime you want. So pick it carefully. Look all around and find that object, that gift, that reminder that you can come back here anytime you want. And you're going to take this object with you and start walking back slowly, very slowly, towards the door. Take your time, there's no rush. And now you're back to the door where you came from. You're going to open it very slowly and close it behind you. Take a good look again at this door, what it looks like, its color, its number. Remember the number. It might have a significance to you. And now you're back in the corridor where all the doors are, with all the numbers on the doors. And you're going to slowly start walking back towards the other door that you opened first. The door to the corridor. You're going to open this door and gently close it behind you. And now you're back to the staircase. You see that beautiful spiral staircase. And as you go back up, very gently, very slowly, you will come back to where you are now on this day of March 2022. So you're going to go back up very slowly on the first step and the second and the third step. And you're going to start feeling your heart beating a little faster, the blood circulating a little faster in your body. And start breathing a little faster. 4, 5, 6. You're going to start moving your hands, moving your feet, feeling the energy of your body coming back to a more awake state. Maybe moving your head a little bit. 7, 8, 9. Now you're starting to feel much, much more awake. You can start moving your body, hearing the sounds all around you, feeling the space around you. And 10, you're completely back, fully anchored, fully energized, completely back to where you are in your home or wherever you are in 2022, in this beautiful evening that we're sharing together. And if for some reason you don't feel fully back, you can start shaking your body, moving a little bit. You can stand up. And for those who don't feel fully anchored, you can stand up and visualize yourself as a tree and start visualizing that you have deep, deep, deep roots growing into the floor, into the ground. And really feel yourself strong and tall as a tree. You can drink some water. I suggest actually to drink water. That's another thing that's really good to do. And if you're still feeling not fully anchored, you can also snack on something like some nuts or eat a little something. And please don't drive or do anything dangerous until you feel fully grounded. That's very important. Welcome back.
Thank you so much, Jenna. That was beautiful. I feel very peaceful and grounded and centered and present.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
If anybody wants to share, if they saw anything, you could do that for me. I don't know if we have 1 minute. If somebody did see
if
something.
anyone has any questions or wanted to share anything that they experienced during the journey, just put up your hand or drop it in the chat box.
And it's okay if you didn't. Not everyone will have this experience, especially when it's so short, you know. So, and it's not necessarily an indicator that if you didn't see anything today, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't see. It might just be that you need more time and to be in another type of environment to have a full experience. This is just a glimpse.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I definitely,
Somebody's talking. Yeah, Emmanuel.
Yeah, so Emmanuel said, I thought I was an animal, panda, during some moments. Ah, okay. And I don't know the message. Do you know the messages of panda?
Me specifically?
Yeah.
No,
yeah,
I don't know the spiritual meaning of pandas, but yeah, Emmanuel, you should definitely look it up. Like, what does it represent? And there's for sure a message for you, for specifically for what's going on in your life right now. So, yeah. I know, Lee, you have a beautiful book that explains the meaning of certain animals, but I know you can find those things online too. So
you can find them online. Yeah, and mine's more indigenous. So pandas, Native American indigenous. So it wouldn't have pandas in it. But that's a very specific animal. So I think that's
definitely
really, for Emmanuel to look into that.
What about you, Lee and Lisa? Did you receive any information or did you see anything? It's okay if you didn't.
Yeah, for me, I did experience being, I was in Greece.
Wow.
And there was a market, but I didn't have enough time to really explore the market. There was a lot of people in the market, and the gift and I think given more time, I would have been able to have those connections and conversations. But I was given a gift of pink quartz as for self-love and
beautiful. Oh,
Mhm.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing. I
And
love that.
deeply relaxing. Like I really felt deeply relaxed and present
Uh-huh.
there. Mhm.
Wow, thank you. What about you, Lisa?
Yeah,
Anything?
I saw a snake. I think I was
Uh-huh.
like Emmanuel taking on this form of a snake and just seeing a lot of colors, to be honest. Orange was really prominent for me.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure what chakra is that. Is that
It's the
root
sacral chakra.
or yeah,
Sacral.
sacral?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe
So,
there's a, actually the snake is also the image that is used in Kundalini, you know?
mm,
So there might be some kind of message for you in terms of Kundalini energy and sacral chakra. I don't know, I'm just, saying.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
yes.
snake is always healing, right? So it
Yeah.
sheds its skin. It's part of the caduceus, right? And so there's definitely, sorry, kicked over my water bottle there. Definitely, I'll share that with you, Lisa. I think that's a beautiful message. And Lisa's just moved, so it is a whole new
Yeah.
beginning for her and shedding skin and starting anew. So that's beautiful. I see that there's a couple people with hands up. George, you had a question?
Yes. So I went down the stairs, I turned left and saw a door, number 4, a gold handle and a blue door. I walked in and I got showered with money when I walked in the door.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah,
So
I haven't-
abundance coming your
I haven't seen
way.
the money yet, but I haven't seen any money yet, but I'm looking around. Maybe I'll find it in the toilet when I go upstairs.
Wow, that's pretty cool to be showered with money.
So is
That's
there any symbolism there that I should look at?
I don't know, but to me, just the obvious that maybe you're in a phase where you're going to be welcoming abundance in some form in your life.
Excellent.
Yeah, I wish that for you.
I'll let you know.
Wonderful.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, George.
Thank you.
And Emmanuel has a question as well.
Yeah.
Oh, I just wanted to further just expand on my experience. Yeah, it was almost like I got teleported into the future. And then when I was looking like down at my feet and stuff, I was looking at this fur and I eventually got to this mirror and I was a panda. And I just was looking up the importance of a panda and its gentleness. There's a lot of good luck stuff. There's a lot of kind of empath energy and sensitivity to noises and things like that. I resonated with it, actually. So I'm going to do more and more research on the panda.
Beautiful. Thank you, Manuel.
Thanks so much for sharing that. And that definitely, in you speaking, embodies the energy of who you are. So in connecting with pandas will probably allow different messages to continue to surface for you as you move forward. So that's beautiful.
Yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and Joe's got her camera on there. Joe, you look like you're still in hypnosis there. And very relaxed. So lovely.
I did see 89 was the number that came up, and a purple door, and then an old hand, and then I kind of drifted into sleep. But
yeah,
I thought it's kind of it was a nice feeling. I was also very relaxed.
Beautiful. Well, pay attention to your dreams tonight. And I would say that to everyone. Pay attention, given Jenna's really primed you to be able to, your unconscious mind, that when you sleep this evening, you may have some beautiful messages that show up. So have a journal next to your bed when you wake up in the morning to see what your unconscious mind tells you about the blue door, or it was a purple door, or George, I think you had the blue handle, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the number also might have a significance, Joe. I don't know what 89 means to you. It could be the year 89, could be something else. You might not know right away. It might come in the next few days, next few weeks, that it somehow makes sense to you, Yeah,
exactly. Look for those signs, as well as numerology. I am not an expert in numerology, but there may be something to look up in the numbers that there was specific numbers for you that might have messages as well. So thank you. Thank you all for sharing. And we're just going to take a quick minute to close. So if everyone would please shut your eyes for a moment, we'll close the space. So as we close our time together, with gratitude to all, we pause to offer each other love and kindness. May our understanding of love be expanded by what we have shared as we open ourselves to growth. May we rest in trust and surrender ourselves and our past to divine grace, asking that this time together be protected, corrected, and held high. May we now see through love's eyes and understand beyond words. May we all be safe, happy, and healthy. May we all rest in full joy and know that there is no distance between friends in time or space. Divine strength and peace surround us until we meet again. If you'd like to open your eyes, I'm just going to pass it over to Lisa for our final announcements.
Thank you so much again, Jenna, for your time and your wisdom and your knowledge and sharing all your gifts with us tonight. We truly appreciate it. And just to recap our conversation, thank you, Jenna, with her this evening. Quantum hypnosis is a method which enables one to connect with the subconscious and allows one to travel through space and time to see past and/or future lives. Its many benefits may include a deep sense of clarity, emotional and sometimes spontaneous physical healing, breaking family patterns, empowerment to make major life changes, and deep inner peace. And if you are an overthinker, tired of struggling, or you have friends or family that can use support, please feel free to contact Leah at any time. She does a complimentary discovery session. She's going to put a link in the chat box to a direct link to her website. And finally, our next LeeLa event will be called From Untouchable to Unbreakable, and that's going to be on Wednesday, April 20th with Leanne Harris. Leanne has worked for many years as a social studies resource specialist consultant with the Toronto District School Board. She's a public speaker and guest teacher to many other boards. Leanne will share the story of her family and the work they've been doing in a leper colony in South India in the state of Tamil Nadu for the last 25 years. We'll chat about entrepreneurial success stories among the colony members who went from begging to business owners. So hope to see some of you there. And until next time, everyone, be well, aloha, and good night.
Aloha. Ahui hao.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
you.
Good night.